Hi guys, welcome to Wednesday today. Trying to catch my bearings. So I'm slightly delayed today in going to the gym. I'm about to leave shortly, but I've just got home and I'm cooking some lunch because it's 1 p.m. in the UK. So where are you? What time is it where you are? And how is your day going? So I was tinkering at my parents and ordering lighting and things for their house and got a little bit carried away on the timing, did another spot of painting, which I wasn't expecting to do, and then just ordered all these electricals. So I got really, really excited. I don't know if your parents are the same, but my parents are very much live with things as they are. They will have a room look exactly the same for like 20 or 30 years. Whereas I say to them, you know, your life would be so much easier if you did X, Y, and Z. So I'm putting in some motion detector lights so that when they walk into the room, it lights up and they're not having to turn things on and off and everything's automated and just makes their lives a little bit easier. So my mum years ago had this wired in lighting and everything, which she actually broke and took out pretty much within a year of having it. She kept knocking the bulbs and hitting things, and yeah, sorry, my hair is dry now. So she never really even used it. And I said, oh my goodness, since you had that put in, years later, technology has moved on so much. But yes, if you don't keep up with it and you're not used to kind of modern things, it's easy to fall behind. So for me to say to them, it's like really low energy, quick and easy motion detector. And then as they're going about their day, it does it all for them. So really excited for that. Measured all of that up. Just drove home, making some lunch really quickly. I'm making a massaman curry, which is delicious. And then I will head to the gym and go do a food shop and things. So yes, I'm slightly delayed today, but I've been out all morning so far and just got home in order to do my little changeover and head back out again. So thank you all for joining me. How are you today and what are you up to? I've got the most hectic end to this week and I'm really trying to find snippets of time to come online and do a live video, to come and say hi and find these little moments which so far haven't become a routine because it's different times throughout different days, but hopefully I can try and build into a routine. So tomorrow is hectic with work. Yesterday I was at a museum, an art museum in central London, Marble Arch, which was really good fun. So the content will be coming for that shortly. Had so much fun with my daughter as she was previously an art student, looking at modern contemporary art. Lots of Banksy was there, which I absolutely loved. And Robbie Williams, who in the UK is a musician, but now he's turned to art centred around mental health. And I know there were discussions about Ed Sheeran, who was also a musician from the UK, who had created artwork. And it's the kind of perception of, is it good because the work itself is worthy? Or is it good because they have a fan base for music, which kind of carries on that they are buying merchandise? So you could actually be rubbish at art, but because a famous musician has drawn this or painted this, it automatically gives it value. How do you feel about art? Is it something that you really love? Do you want it to be intricate and show skill that not everybody could do? Or do you want your art to be from someone that you really care about, where you would say, even if it was a splodge on a page, if I knew that they did it, I will still love this. I think as a mother, I kept my children's artwork growing up from when they were in preschool, and they would do finger painting and they would draw all these shapes and wonky houses. And I thought it was so endearing. To me, that is absolutely priceless and precious. However, when I am buying art from artists who are professional and that's what they do, I really need to feel drawn to it. I need to be able to say, that takes my breath away, or that instantly makes my hair stand on edge. Like with music, you want to have that sensation that they have created something phenomenal. So I look at different artists, and when I select artwork for my home, it definitely has to be intricate, it has to be eye-catching, it has to be emotive. So personally, if I see a singer has sort of sketch something a bit wonky as a child would have drawn a picture for you, unless that's your favourite singer, I wouldn't really view that in the same way. I wouldn't say that to me is art that I would want to buy, but equally I appreciate their style. I appreciate the kind of ways that they draw. But for me to put that on the wall, it would have to have great meaning. So I have never bought art from somebody who was not an artist for that reason. How do you feel about art? Have you ever experienced or experimented with art yourself? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you have creative flair? And if so, have you put that on your walls? Ken Lee says, how tall are you, Tracy? I'm 5'8", which I don't know what that is in centimetres. But yeah, my daughter is 5'7". My son is 5'6". So they are like literally inches, just almost as tall as me. I think in a year or two, my children will be taller than me, without a doubt. They are teenagers, but they are ready to overthrow me. Scrolling your comments, guys. I would love to hear what you think about art and what you have in your home. Equally, the same I would say with tattooists. I would want to have exceptional artwork, which goes above and beyond and is something you carry with you throughout your entire life. I love my tattoos. I love the meaning and the purpose and the detail. I am still sunburnt from being on a boat at the weekend, but I am gradually turning a normal colour instead of lobster red. How are you all finding the summer, and are you being safe in the sun? My apologies, I went out with wet hair tied back and now I look like I've been caught in a rainstorm, but it did rain whilst I was out. But now I'm ready to hit the gym shortly. Pascal says, bonjour, Tracy. Hi, welcome, good morning, how are you? Well, it's 1 p.m. actually, so good afternoon. Zulkeha, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says hi. Welcome. Hotam has sent roses, thank you. Pascal says, how are you, Tracy? I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Had a manic morning and the rest of my week is super, super busy. I have a photo shoot on Friday, which I'm really looking forward to. So I will be sharing the photos with you shortly. I've had 7 magazines this month go to publication, so they will be coming out over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I will share them as and when they go live around the world. The first one is a Canadian magazine, which I released the other day, where I was wearing faux leather. I did some behind the scenes videos, which is literally just the phone on a phone stand on the floor, capturing the behind the scenes of it. And actually it's incredible, I think, to see the difference between when you start a shoot versus what is captured. From how it just looks like you're just kind of twirling on the spot in front of a photographer and a screen, but actually what comes out of it is so creative. I love showing that before and after. I love showing the reality of how it's captured versus the front cover image that is created. And I think we always have this kind of thing in our mind where you don't see the potential of what is all around you. And definitely to expand that to all aspects of life, you have to have that vision to be able to say, yes, it might not look like much, but watch when it's finished, what it will turn into. And I think we kind of miss a lot of opportunities in life because we have this judgment on the surface of saying, how can that possibly be anything phenomenal when it looks so bland, when it's so simple? But actually the way that light creates when you are using photography or artistic measures, it brings such a beautiful story, how it bounces off of skin tone, how it kind of builds these shadows and contours on the body. It really is an art form, and photography is just beautiful. Sometimes I get really kind of strange about modelling. I've been a model since I was 18, so almost 20 years now, because I'm 38 in October. So half my life I've been a model, which was accidental. I never meant to become a model. I was talent spotted at 18 and kind of thrown into it as a very shy child. Being neurodivergent, I struggle with eye contact. I hate looking down the lens of a camera. It really does make me feel uneasy. It's that kind of when you're in school and you have those school photos and they're like, sit on a stool and smile, and you're like, ah, feels like you're in a firing squad or something. It's a horrible feeling. You're so awkward. Whereas when I'm modeling, I always think, really, do you really want to take a photo of me? Are you sure? And I've never had that kind of arrogance or ego to think, you know, oh, everybody take my picture. It's more so, oh, no, I'm okay, thanks. And, you know, if people in group shots, I'm like, I'll hold the camera. I'll take the picture for you. Whereas I guess with it being my work, you can be good at your job without kind of wanting to do your job, if that makes sense. Somebody may be really good at playing the piano, but they don't want to be a musician. They say, I play the piano because I enjoy it. But if I had to do it every day, I really wouldn't want to do that as a job. And I think that's definitely how I feel about modelling. I feel like there are so many people who are so camera hungry that it kind of puts me off. And I think I would rather just be left alone than for that to be my everyday life. I think that would just overwhelm me entirely. So when I have photo shoots, I'm happy for 3 or 4 hours, take some pictures, and then, okay, that's fine, I'm done now. So from my previous photo shoot, 7 magazines have gone to publication with all different looks, just bashed it out in one hit. I think it was about 4 hours. Change, different outfits, and then they all go out around the world. So that's my preferred way to do it, rather than constantly having photos taken. Because again, like, you know, I think it's quite an invasive thing. I think to see how you come across on camera, how people judge you, what their opinions and feelings are, the fashion that's involved. I mean, we played with bin bags and newspapers. So it was the most random thing, but it came out so beautifully. And I really like seeing the finished product, but also sharing the reality of what goes into it. As I say, a phone on the floor, taking a behind the scenes video where you go, what is this? And then you see the final piece and you say, wow. And I think it makes it special when you're not doing that too often, when you're able to say, maybe once a month I'll have a shoot, and that will cover all of the content that I need for that time. Otherwise, I think you can just become soulless. You know, you're doing it for the sake of doing it, rather than having that vision and wanting to create something special and unique. So yes, I have a shoot which is in nature on Friday. Very excited about. So I've gone from the kind of rock chick, which I have really enjoyed embracing, something that I listened to a lot of heavy metal and rock in my teens, wore black a lot, and then kind of stepped away from that as I became a young adult, to be able to kind of reignite that side of me. Again, it's something that has never gone away. I will be sat here in Pink listening to rock music. People think, oh, I didn't think you knew this band, or that you would even have that on your playlist. But, you know, we have all of these different aspects to our personality, to our taste. You don't have to pick one side or the other, lightness or dark, or pop or rock. You know, you can just intermingle and entwine all aspects of life. Whether I listen to classical music or heavy metal, I love all genres of music. And I think we definitely should not deny ourselves the fact that we can love all of these things that come together to make a whole. So yes, previously that shoot from a couple of weeks ago really focused upon those deeper, darker colours, textures, faux leather. As I say, it's all vegan friendly, nothing is animal cruelty, newspapers, bin bags, mesh dresses. It was all very rock and roll, and finger combed hair, and it was very warm. So I was like glowing with just warmth and sweat. So it was quite a rock and roll kind of shoot, which I really enjoyed doing. And this one will be more country. This one on Friday will be more at ease and just lovely. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing some behind the scenes from that with you, and then also when the publications come out. So I've got a crazy week writing for lots of brands this week, and we are halfway through, and I just have this mountain of work. But my thing to do when I feel overwhelmed, or if there's a lot going on, is to then focus on helping others. So I've just got back from my parents, as I say, doing lots of measuring and plans for their electricals, as you do. So really, I should have been at home writing and working, getting ahead of things. But I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll drive over and go and sort this out for them, which could have waited. But I think those kind of bursts in what you are planning and what you are doing give you that momentum to keep going. Because if you push too hard in one area, it becomes overwhelming. It is burnout. So just as when we look at fitness, you want manageable chunks that are sustainable. So I love writing, I love content creation, I love editing and creating pictures and visual imagery and telling stories. But I want that in manageable chunks. So I will write and then I'll go and have a coffee and then I'll go and do some DIY, or I will jump on a Facebook Live and then I'll cook a meal and then I'll write some more and then I'll go and edit something. And I think keeping that fluid motion, that movement, prevents stagnation. It prevents you from feeling like you have writer's block or you've hit the wall. And especially when I'm training, I train total body every time I train, which is down to my genetics, that through testing, they found I don't have to split into muscle groups. But I will hit some shoulders and then I'll hit some quads and then I'll come back and I'll do some abs and then I'll do some biceps and triceps and then I'll flip it back and I'll do some calves. And I just love intermingling and changing because you get the most out of it, because you are going from one extreme to the other. It's not just a casual burnout in one area. It's kind of keeping you on your toes, keeping you moving. And be neurodivergent, having combined type ADHD, it definitely works for me to kind of keep these kind of bites everywhere, if that makes sense to you. I also write everything down. I have big whiteboards where I have everything I need to do and I just kind of nip at different parts, come back to it, move on from it, expand on it. And everything is just a work in progress. And it's a way to organize a very fast firing, hyper-focused mind. So yeah, what methods do you use? Are you very motivated? Are you very enthusiastic, energetic? How do you keep yourself on the straight and narrow of what needs to be done? I never miss deadlines. I'm always ahead of time, but I will take on so much work because I get so excited about it that I then suddenly think there is a mountain for me to deal with, and I've got the children and I've got my pets and I'm helping my parents and I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And I still want a daily routine of going to the gym and ticking all my boxes and keeping everything in order whilst just throwing chaos everywhere. So it kind of is a really active lifestyle, which makes more sense as an adult through studying lots of different things in psychology and neurodivergence to see how our minds work and how you fine tune your thought processes, neuroplasticity, to know this is how much pressure to put myself under without me cracking. This is how to motivate and use my adrenaline in a positive way to keep that foot on the gas, to keep you pushing forwards, but also in a sustainable way. Because we do need pressure, we do need stress, we do need to be pushed and step out of our comfort zone. And it's kind of fine-tuning what works best for you. Some people love to be shouted at. They love this kind of military person that comes in and says, do as you're told, X, Y, Z. You know, as you would if you were a soldier and you have this structure and routine and it's kind of do. Other people like a softer approach of, when you're ready, let me know and maybe we'll start with this and we'll build it up. But again, it's however you respond as an individual. For me, I just go full throttle and I just take on more and more and more. And I don't normally burn out or collapse. I always keep that nice progress. Sometimes I will absolutely smash all my personal bests, set off so many achievements, feel so proud of myself, and then I'll just add more into the mix. So it's really, I guess, a case of saying, let me now stop and enjoy what I've worked so hard for. Let me take a step back to appreciate it and actually say, I'll take a week off. I never take time off. 7 days per week, I am go. I think that comes from being a parent. Even, you know, weekends are not weekends. I don't remember the last time ever since I was a child that I ever had a day off of not having to do anything. And I think actually that probably personally comes from me, from being in hospital when I have a surgery and I've had anaesthetic and I'm just able to sleep for like 20 hours. And, you know, you ring a bell and they bring you food and they look after you and everything is just calm and peaceful and you sleep so well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to my surgery in October, and I will of course take you all with me to beautiful Istanbul in Turkey and show you everything that's involved. I will do lots of lives, I'm sure, from my hospital bed, as well as when I'm recovering in my hotel and also being a lovely tourist. I think I've seen most parts of Istanbul now, as I've been, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, I would imagine. But there are still places to discover and the culture to just be immersed in. I absolutely love Istanbul. It's so, so beautiful. Are there any places that you recommend I visit whilst I'm there? And if so, what are they and how do I get to them? Mehmood says, nice looking. Thank you. Kenley says vegan. Yes, I am vegan and I'm full of energy, which is possibly down to ADHD also. Mamas says, hi, welcome. Brandon says, hi from Arkansas. Oh, welcome. Brian says, good evening. Nice outfit. What are you wearing? I'm just in gym wear and I have a sunburnt stomach at the moment from being on the boat for the weekend. Just gym shorts and a sports bra. I get very warm when I work out because I do not regulate my body temperature very well. I'm either freezing cold or boiling hot. So I always need my neck and shoulders exposed and my hair tied up when I train, just to kind of let the heat out, like a kettle boiling. I go bright red and sweat. So it's not the most attractive way to look when working out. I am that sweaty person that's like just running, dripping wet. But equally, it's very successful and it keeps people away. They leave me alone in the gym, which is lovely. So I can just train. Dolly says, love you. Thank you. Welcome. Brian says, love you. Thank you very much. Kenley says, it is 6:20 a.m. here in Alberta, Canada. Wow. So it's 1:40 p.m. here in England. Nice that you are up early as the day begins to be really active, to see the sun come up, to strike while the iron is hot. That's the saying that we have here. I am a morning person, most definitely. I can't stay awake in the evening. I normally go to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. Maybe I'm asleep by 10:30, 11, as it takes to fall asleep. When people are staying up until midnight, I literally cannot. I am such an early riser. I like to be up with the bird song and active for the day ahead. I also find it's nice when it's so quiet, when there are less cars on the road, where there's less people, less noise. And I much prefer, you know, I'd get up at 4 in the morning and go drive on the roads just to avoid the chaos and just busyness, congestion of life. I'm definitely a hermit crab. Now that I'm in my 30s, I am very happy to just retreat away from the world and be an independent, off-grid person. I think that is my happy place, to just be out in nature, away from everything, self-sustainable and just at peace and ease, because cities do not do it for me. I'm happy to visit for the day or for a weekend, but then there is no place like home, coming back to the countryside and just resetting and refilling your social battery. It does take it out of me to be in crowded, busy spaces, but it's what you're used to. And I'm sure lots of people love living in cities, that hustle and bustle and the nightlife and the selection and everything around you. I could never live in a city or a town or whatever is a kind of busy place. I much prefer peace and quiet. Appy says, nice looking. Thank you. Simumad, if I've said that right, says, I love you too, my queen. Thank you. Scrolling your comments. Thank you all for your love and likes. That's so lovely to see. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are. Suvendu says, you have tattooed heavily in your body. Yes, I have. It's just my personal taste. It's art that I absolutely love. My homes, most of the walls are fully covered in artwork that I've collected. So when it comes to my body, I think you either love body art or you don't. And it doesn't have to be for everyone. I don't mind if people don't have tattoos. I don't go towards or avoid people based on their skin. It makes no difference to me what your lifestyle is. You don't have to want the same as what I have. But, you know, tattoos are something that I personally love. I actually had a lady come up to me in the gym last week. Now, it would have been just before the weekend. And she took a photo of my arm. She's actually going to the same tattooist as me in October. I'm booked in to have a tattoo added here. And she said, oh my God, I love your tattoos. Can I please have something like this? And I was like, of course, you know, I'm not gatekeeping. If anybody wants to choose the same styles or things, I have no problem with them taking photos and recreating my body art. I think that's really beautiful. My daughter actually designed this, a tree of life yin yang, which is very meaningful to us. So she wants to have that for her and her daughter, which was really lovely. And it's a really nice way to start a conversation. The amount of people that come up to me and hug me because they're like, oh my God, I love your tattoos and I love your energy and you just come across as a really smiley, bubbly person. I've never been hugged so much in my life by strangers. Most of them are women. It's not like a pervy kind of thing. They are mostly women that just come up to me and just say, I feel really drawn to you and safe with you. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, that's nice that people can feel that way. I appreciate that. And I think likewise, your vibe attracts your tribe. So the way that you live and the way that you conduct yourself and carry yourself when you're out and about in public, I think that definitely shows. And people will either resonate or avoid you. And, you know, that's a good thing. If people are kind and considerate and polite, I am arms open wide. I'll give them a hug. And if they're rude and obnoxious and staring, I would rather they keep their distance. So yes, definitely invite into your life those that are on that same level as you. And don't judge people. Never judge people. I think that's the biggest life lesson that I've learnt across my 37 years is what you see on the surface of a person rarely accurately represents what is beneath. You may see people who are absolutely stunningly beautiful. You think they've got everything, they're rich and they're beautiful and, you know, they must be amazing. But actually they're very sad, they're very broken, they're angry or short-tempered. You know, they're not what you imagine. We create characters from people that we come across in life and we idolize people who don't deserve that, who haven't earned that. They are simply just born looking cute, you know, but actually they're very rude people. They're very obnoxious people. They're very XYZ. And other times you can see really beautiful people who are so kind, who are so generous and gentle and wonderful. And people avoid them because they think they'll be stuck up or they think that they'll be kind of feeling like the world owes them something. When you're then pleasantly surprised, actually, they're really gentle and calm and kind. So never judge a book by its cover. I think it's so important that you just allow people to be themselves. And if you resonate with them, spend time with them. And if you don't, politely just step away. You don't have to have conflict. You don't have to interact or insult or put yourself into their business or their space. Just go with the flow of what works for you. Chris says, I love you so much. Thank you. Saeed says, hi, welcome. Singh says, you are looking so beautiful. Oh, thank you. Tusha has written something in another language, which I'm sorry, I can't read. Ken Lee says, how tall are you? I'm 5'8". Ziam says, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. About to eat a massaman curry that I've just cooked and it's on low, bubbling away, lovely. So I can eat before the gym. It's coming up for 2 p.m. in the UK, so I'm slightly behind schedule as I've spent the morning measuring electricals at my parents' house. Saeed says, hello. Thank you. Sid says, sexy body. Oh, thank you very much. I'm very sunburnt at the moment. So I'm looking forward to my sunburn going down so that I can have a photo shoot on Friday. Hopefully it will clear in time. I don't know how long you normally stay red for, but I was applying Factor 50 sun cream, which is the strongest you can get. And I was going around giving everyone extra sun cream saying, don't burn, spray this or you're looking a bit red there. All the while I'm reapplying on myself and I'm the one that burnt. How do you figure that out? It's mind blowing. But yes, it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just I'm a lobster for the next few days until it cools down. We are Wednesday today, so 3 days, and I'm still quite red. But I put that down to Irish skin. We are all very pale. Singh says I'm 6'2". That's a very good height. I think my son may get to around a similar height when he's fully grown, but he's 13 at the moment. So do you have children, and how tall are they based on the fact that you're 6'2"? Have they outgrown you, or are they shorter than you if you do have children? I think this generation is naturally taller than we have ever been. They are fortifying vitamins into foods. And just we are more conscious of nutrition and a better way of life. So my generation, it was all be skinny, be slim, and that's what's attractive. So we were definitely malnourished. Whereas I think this generation, they are properly nurtured and nourished with their diet, with their lifestyles. They're not starving themselves like we did for fashion and beauty. And they are able then to develop and grow properly when they are teenagers, rather than denying themselves the nutrients that they need and stunting growth like we did. David says, good girl. Not sure what that's for, but thank you. George says, you are very beautiful. Thank you. Saeed says, where are you from? I'm on the border of London in England. Countryside city. I'm just on the border. Nice and peaceful and calm. Ariane says, hello friends, I love you. Please answer me. My country is Bangladesh. Welcome. How is the weather in Bangladesh today? It's actually quite cloudy in the UK. It was spitting with rain on my drive home from my parents. And it's quite nice to not be as kind of humid and sticky and awkward heat. Even though I love the summer, I love the sunshine and the bright blue skies, I also like it when it's more comfortable, when you can sleep at night, you can go out your house without turning into a lobster, because even Factor 50 did not stop sunburn, which is so shocking. Oh, look, hiccup, sorry. So, yes, I like the kind of comfort of just a cooler, calmer day in the summer. It's nice to have the balance of blue skies and sunshine versus rain and cloud, when everything can recover and the ground isn't scorched and the plants aren't all dying and gasping for water. It definitely makes a difference to have that balance. And scrolling your comment, Brandon says it's 7:25 a.m. here in Arkansas. Oh, amazing. How will you be spending this morning, and what are your plans for the day and the rest of the week? Scrolling your comments, Singh says, I am from India. Welcome. What part of India are you in? Scrolling, trying to find your comments. Sorry, I've talked for so long. I'm probably really far behind on comments. Marco says, love you from Portugal. Oh, welcome from Portugal. Siyam says, hi love, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. I'm about to eat a giant curry. It's going to be so good. My mouth is salivating. And then go for a workout, go do a food shop. And then I have to get some DIY bits and tools just from the store next door to my gym, and then go to my parents probably at the weekend to go and fit some lighting. So that will be lovely for them. And I think that's absolutely everything to do at their house, as I've been on a kind of spree since my mum's birthday the first week in August, just doing over their entire house, and I've absolutely loved it. I'm very hands-on. I love DIY. I love power tools. I love painting. So it's been really nice to dress and design rooms and just make that home like really cozy and beautiful and fresh. So scrolling your comments, guys. Andre says, greetings, welcome. Flores says, I love you so much. Oh, thank you. Sending love and light to you all. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Ashish says, Tracy. Iwan says, hello. Welcome, everyone. Scrolling your comments. Gary says, unsteady camera with a fisheye lens is my style. Oh, so for photography, I remember years ago when fisheye lenses first came out, you kind of clip them as a peg onto phones, and that kind of blurred out woo kind of feeling was really funky. I also remember like phone filters back when social media first kind of started, maybe several years ago or so. You would kind of add a grainy effect or sepia and all of these things, which now I just don't use filters. I don't want to make my appearance any different. All I do is have light added. So just up the contrast, not the contrast, what do you call it, exposure, to lighten everything, because I think even when you take a picture on a bright day, it's always quite dark. So I just lift the exposure, and that's it. I think you want to still look like you. You don't want to be this unrecognizable alien that's impossibly modified, that if you were to see people in the street, you wouldn't know who they were. Maybe that's a good thing for privacy, actually, but I'm not into face tuning apps and filters and all these things. I like to just be me and leave things alone. But I think it's really cool when they have those kind of blurry shots, and as you say, distorted and things. But yeah, maybe a fisheye lens shoot would be quite fun in future. I'll have to have a think of that. Chris says, I am serious. I'm waiting for you here. Where is here? Eric says, hi. Hi, Eric. Welcome. Scrolling your comments, looking for something suitable to read out. Not everything is suitable. Are there any paragraphs that I can read out? Arturo says, you look so beautiful. I love you like this. So hot. Oh, thank you. I'm just ready for the gym. Eugene says, good evening. I'm watching from the Philippines. Welcome, Eugene. I hope you're all well. So I am absolutely starving. I've had my lovely fruity protein porridge for breakfast, where I just add a scoop of protein powder, 2 oats and water, and then top with fresh fruit and cinnamon. Oh, so good. And also to get enough protein into my diet as a vegan. Always start my day with protein porridge and a cup of coffee. Bliss, absolutely bliss. So I'm looking forward to my curry, and then I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to lift heavy, feel alive, and come back and have a really clear and focused mind to spend the rest of the afternoon and evening writing about lots of fun and interesting brands, which I can't wait to share with you. And the content from the art gallery yesterday, I'm just waiting on clearance from the gallery before I'm able to then share that, which I'm really excited to show you. I found some lovely pieces, and I will be able to recommend the pieces that I personally loved and the reasons why. There are so many to view. As I'm sure you're aware, art galleries, I think it was 3 floors that it covered with massive sculptures and digital art, modern contemporary art, which is really exciting. And Banksy, again, is one of my favourites. So being able to share that is really fun. Johnny says, hello, charming young lady. You are ravishing. You brighten my day with your charm. I love your crystal eyes. Oh, thank you. Well, I actually have blue eyes. I don't know if that's obvious. Let me just bring my eyes closer. They can look quite dark sometimes or really bright other times. And I saw my hairdresser today. She just took some dead ends off of my hair. And she was saying my hair is dark blonde, which is a number 7. But my daughter's hair, she used to be really bright blonde. If you saw videos and pictures of her as a child, she's now turning 18 in October, so she's quite grown up. But her hair was very, very light blonde, very curly, like noodles, like a mop of noodles. And now her hair is more a light brown, which is really crazy. Is in the last couple of years, her hair has definitely darkened, which we were thinking she'd had hair dye previously for black hair. She went through a phase of black hair, then lighter brown hair, then she had red hair, then she had blue hair, which she absolutely loved. And over the years, I've also experimented with lots of different colours. And we thought maybe there's hair dye still in her hair. But it's been a few years since she's dyed it, and it's like literally all grown out, but it's so dark now. I think she's no longer a light blonde. She's definitely dark blonde, which is crazy to think. I always think my hair is brunette, but I am, they called it a mousy blonde when I was growing up, which is a mixture of all different kind of highlights of blonde. It will go very light in the summer and then it will look darker in the winter. So my hair is kind of like the leaves of a tree, I suppose. It kind of changes throughout the year. So scrolling your comments, guys. Berenda says, what are you doing now, my friend? God bless you. Oh, thank you. I'm just about to eat. Then I'm heading to the gym, DIY store, food shop, and then coming back and working all evening, writing and creating content to share with you. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day whatever you're doing. And if you do have any thoughts about Istanbul that you think I should visit, ideas on artwork and the type of art that you love, would you purchase art from a singer or would you only purchase art from an artist? What is your taste and style? And has that shifted throughout life as you have aged and gained experience and liked different things, different styles? Or are you very strict to what you like and you don't waver from that mindset? I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings, and thank you all for joining me from across the world, wherever you are. I hope you have a wonderful day, that you have positivity and inspiration in your day to do beautiful things, be kind to people, be kind to yourself, and just feel grateful and thankful that we are alive today, that we are here, we have the opportunities of life at our feet. Anything that we want to achieve is possible. We can learn anything, we can do anything, we can totally rewrite and reroute our life towards the path that we want it to be on. Every day is a new opportunity. Every day is filled with such possibilities and endless enthusiasm and energy. We simply have to just tap into that, believe in ourselves, and know that we deserve everything our heart desires. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all soon. Bye.